Yo, it's that smack you in the face, Wayne6578, bringing you guys another Madden Ultimate Team 20 tip video. And today I will show you how to get a high score in solo battles. With these tips, you will average about 24,000 and more points for each game. With that, you usually will crack the top 100. This is guaranteed to give you the most solo battles Madden rewards. Let's first take a look at the minimum requirements as far as the roster goes for what's required. Here is my team. As you can see, it's not much, but I have the important pieces to win in solo battles. You will need a good, not great corners. I have Lattimore and Talib and Brown. You want to have good speed, great acceleration, and great man coverage as far as what you can afford. I don't use zone defense in solo battles, so that is not needed. Next, we look at the safeties. I have Houston and Hooker. You want speed, acceleration, and great man coverage and hit power. Your safeties will mostly be the ones you will be using, so you need to have good safeties. Not great, but good safeties, whichever you can afford. Next, you need good outside linebackers. I have 78 Clowney and 76 Hendricks. Here we want speed, tackle power, power moves, finesse moves, and block shedding. That's about it for defense. No one else really matters. Next, let's look at the minimum requirements for offense. One, you will need a great QB. A mobile one is best, but 85 and above rated QB, and great wide receivers, at least 2. But speed and great hands are required for your receivers. Next, you need a really good running back and a great tight end. Your tight end in this tip I'm going to show you in this scheme is the person you'll be throwing to the most. You'll throw to your tight end 90% of the time, so you want your tight end to have great speed, good hands, and a plus is if he has great route running. Let's go over the offensive scheme first. We'll be using the Steelers playbook for the offense and defensive schemes. Now let's go over the offensive scheme I use in solo battles. Again, I'm using the Steelers playbook for offense and defense. The offensive scheme I use is I use one play just to move up and down the field. This play is the gun trio formation, and the play is called Steelers dig. Steeler dig is what I use. I do run the inside zone every once in a while, but I'll break down the 2-point conversion plays I use after this. But for the Steelers dig, let's go up against a random defense. So this is our setup right here. We drag route that circle receiver. That's it. We look for the tight end. If the tight end is not open, we will go to that drag route or that running back. Now, as you see right there, I did a stiff arm. Always do a stiff arm or a spin move to get your extra points. Right there, our running back is going to be open. We can try to get some points with him. So it's a really quick high-low read, and I do this down the field. That's it. That's all I do. I look for that tight end. If that tight end is not open, I hit either that circle receiver or that running back. And I always try to get that stiff arm in there to get those extra points. Right there, tight end is open again. Right there. And you always want to aim to get first downs. If it takes you more than 2 plays to get a first down, that's what you don't want to aim for. But you want to aim for 2 plays to get a first down. You really want to aim for every pass you do gets a first down. But sometimes you won't have that opportunity, so you have to do what you can. Once you get around 2-minute mark in the second quarter, that's when you want to start going out of bounds. Okay, so that's it. That's all I do on this scheme. I'll show you the run play every once in a while. I will do the inside zone. I don't have it in here, so let's just run this one more time. See if we can hit that tight end. Nope, circle receiver. But I'll show you the inside zone run play. Here's the inside zone play. It's already in your audibles when you pick that Steelers playbook. I just get this and I get as many yards as I can. I usually have really good running backs. I do spend money on running backs and quarterbacks, receivers, and tight ends. So you just got to read your blocks and pick up yards and stiff arm whenever possible. Get those extra user points. This is a blitz right here. So we should have probably audible to that Steelers dig, but this is just a run play I run every once in a while. But I'll show you, that's it. I don't run much when I'm playing solo battles. I told you I probably get like about 50 yards, but you should be aiming for about 100 rushing yards and at least 2 rushing touchdowns. But let's go over the 2-point conversions. For the 2-point conversions, I use toss plays and stretches. I use the halfback toss out of the I-form twin tight end formation, and I also use the quick pitch out of the single back bunch formation. So I'll just run a few of these just to show you what I use, and this is what I use for my 2-point conversions. And like I said, you want to aim to at least convert on, if you go for 6 of these, you want to convert on at least 3. You want to be half. So I usually just get it towards the outside and just get in there, and it's usually how it happens in solo battles also. Sometimes they'll get back there and stop you, but if you just kind of aim towards the outside, watch to see if you have any block sheds. You might have to cut it up quicker than usual. Right here, this is a blitz. We might get some block sheds here, and just use that stiff arm, try to get in there. Like I said, I converted on about 90, between 85 and 90% of these when I'm running it in what's the name. As you see right there, we had a little block shed. You have to cut it in. Let's go over the other play. This is the quick pitch. I use this also. Same concept. I want to try to get it to the outside. Get that stiff arm in there to get those extra points. So this is what I use for the 2-point conversions. Oh my God. That was an actual 2-point conversion, but my offensive lineman wanted to talk to me about what we're doing tonight. But as you see, it's a great play, even a run in just regular head-to-head. But in solo battles against the computer, you can dominate every time. Pick that block up. Let me get those 2-point conversions. So those are the 2 plays I use to do 2-point conversions. I went over my offensive scheme. Next, let's go over the defense. Now let's take a look at the defensive scheme I run in solo battles. I am using the Steelers playbook, and the play I'm going to be using is in the nickel 2-4-5 double A gap. It's what everybody uses. It's the mid blitz, but I don't set mine up like everybody else's. Let's go up against a shotgun pass. We man align, we press, we play underneath. We bring our user on that running back right about there, and we sit and we just play the middle of the field, and we get the sack and possibly a fumble. But that's the setup, guys, and it works just like that in the game. Just like that, guys. That's the setup for the defense. We'll run it one more time. Man align press, play underneath. Bring our man, if he's manned up on that running back, right about there. And that's it. Let's go over if they have an empty backfield. This is if they have an empty backfield. I man align, I press, I play underneath, and I grab either one of these guys right here. Either Smith or Trevathan, your middle linebackers, and I just hover for a second, get back into coverage, and cut off that first read. So that's what I do when they have an empty backfield. Still do the same setup, man line, press, play underneath. This time we'll grab Trevathan, the other middle linebacker, inside linebacker, and we'll just tap that center, cut off that first read, and that's what I do if it's a empty backfield. Man line press, play underneath, grab either one of those guys, get into coverage, and you'll get the sack. We'll do it and I'll show you what I do in the game. Man align, press, play underneath. Now we're going to get this sack. I'm going to click on and get credit for the sack. You'll see. We click on and we get credit for the sack. I'm going into coverage, but you got to learn to click on and get credit for that sack. Man in line, press, play underneath. I'll show you how we click on and get credit for this sack. Click on, get credit. And it'll pop up, it'll say user sack. You do want to make sure you hover enough so that lineman in your defense will get through. Okay, if you don't hover, your defense won't come through. I'll show you what happens when you don't hover. Man in line, press, play underneath, and then we'll just go into coverage without touching that line. So we just go into coverage and he still got through. But sometimes when you just go into coverage, like we'll show you right here. Man in line, press, play underneath. And I'm just going to go into coverage. I'm not going to occupy that line at all. And they're able to pick up Mac. See how I didn't occupy that? And they were able to pick up Mac? So you definitely want to occupy that line when it's like that. Just like this. You want to stay there for a second. Make sure 70 touches you. Click on and get credit for that sack. Let's get this fumble. Let's get this fumble. Come on. There we go. There we go. But anyway, that's the defense and that's the offense, guys. These are the stats that I have found to be successful. You want to aim for about 300 or more passing yards, 100 or more rushing yards to give you a total offensive yards of 400 and above. First downs, you want to aim to at least get about 15 and above per game. You want to convert on three. You want to convert at least on 3 2-point conversion attempts. And for your passing touchdowns, you want to aim for about 5 or more. You also want to aim for no turnovers. Also, this is a very important key I found out. When you're in a red zone, you want to convert every time. So if you're in a red zone 6 times, you want to go 6 for 6. You do not really want to kick field goals. If you have to, you do, but you want to convert in a red zone every time you're in the red zone. You will always be able to at least click on and get user picks and user swats. All this adds up to the points you need. An extra tip for you guys are if you get a user pick or an interception, remember you can stiff arm and juke and spin to get these extra points while you're trying to run this ball back for a pick 6. The defensive stats that I've found to be most successful is sacks at least 5 or more, interceptions at least 1 or more. As you can see, this is the Solo Battles progress results screen. As you can see, we received 4,800 points for just completing the game. That's a given. But for the game result, we received 6,000, and the user skills we received 1,115 points. The score we received 490, and we do play all of our games on the hardest legend difficulty. So we received 12,405 points for that, to give us a total of 24,810 points. Now, if you follow these tips that I've given you and run this strategy and this scheme, you will average about 24,000 points, which will get you close to being and maybe even cracking, probably definitely cracking that top 100, and you can get the most out of your time spent on this game. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you never miss an upload. It's your boy Wayne6578. Yep, I'm outie, but I'll be back. Oh, it's that smack you in the face Wayne6578 bringing you guys another Madden NFL 20 defensive tip video, and today I will show you how to do hit sticks on the kickoff and force turn